Hello people of the internet, my name is XNSB Gaming and welcome to this tutorial video that I have for you today. This is going to be a little small series, but I know this is going off track of what my videos are, but I've been using this software for over a year, I think. No, yeah, it's been like a year. So basically why I'm doing this video is I've been searching around for tutorials my whole time I've been using this, and there's barely any at all. So what I'm going to be doing through the series is sharing my knowledge, going through every single little tiny bit of this software, and just showing you guys how to use this more advanced. And yeah. So the first thing you're going to end up seeing is probably not this, but it's going to ask you to create a new project, which is up here in the files. If not, you can go to the file up here, click new project. But I've already done that, and it's called YouTube just for the purpose of the video. So the first thing you're going to see is this water surrounded by this guy. Ignore everything you'll see here for the next 2 minutes, because we're going to go through everything up here on the toolbars. And then we'll get onto the maps, and then we'll start actually making something. So here are your basic things. You have the file, new project, and all of that. Compressed game data. This is basically to make when you make a zip file, it's basically that. It makes the data smaller so you can carry it around. It's basically an installation thing. When you finish your game, you can just press that, and then it'll take you into an easy installation for the user. Edit, this is pretty self-explanatory. Mode, you got map, event, and region. Now these won't really do anything. We'll go on to regions later on in the video because they're a bit more advanced, but we're going to go into the map. Events basically highlight everything that is an event in your project, and then map is just, it excludes all of the events so that you don't delete anything, which is really useful. The draw, we have the pencil, rectangle, all that. That's if you select one of these, and then you can just use that. Scale, you can just make it bigger or smaller depending on your working parts. If you have a massive project which is based all around one map, you can make it smaller. And then we have here the database. We'll go on to that in a minute. The resource manager, we'll also get onto that in a minute. Script editor, sound test. We're not going to go near the script editor throughout this series, just for the main purpose of it's a bit complicated for people, but I will go through it if you want me to. Sound test, self-explanatory. You can go through sounds throughout your whole project that you've added or built in. Character generator, we'll go through that in a minute. Game, you can just play test it, but it's not going to do anything right now because all we've got is a man standing in the water. Help, then sorry, my phone keeps going off. Okay, so we have here we have new project, open project, save. You know what all this stuff is. This is the undo button. You have the map. This is basically a quick bit from saving you from going to the mode. You have the pencil, self-explanatory again. You have that, which is the scales. And then database, we're going to go through that now. Okay, so we're going to go to the actors. This is where you can create your own characters, change what they are. So I'm going to name this one, I don't know, David. And then we have created a new character called David. His nickname, I don't know, Jam. His class. These are all pre-made, by the way, so you may have to delete these. Just go through these and delete them all. And if you want more, you can change the maximum. So you can set this to like 1 billion, and it will give you 1 billion characters. But they're all empty, and you have to go through it. So this is the level that they are, the initial level. They start off as level 1. The next level is, I think, 99, yeah. And then here you have description of your character. So, I don't know, David is a legend. That's his description when you go into the game. Now character graphics, this is what your character is going to look like. Now you can use pre-built ones, or you can be more advanced and go into a professional paint. I don't know, you can download GIMP or Paint.net and create your own characters and upload them. Graphics, this is when you use text boxes and it will come up as the character that you have there. So if, for example, David was talking and this was David, and it will come up as him. Next you have starting equipment, that's self-explanatory. You have bandana, all that, but you're not fixed to these, you can make your own. So let's go to classes. This is where you can create classes, change what they do and all of that. Skills, this is self-explanatory. You can create skills that are like guard, defense, and all of that. Basically effects that you can do to the character. And you can delete all these if you want. And, you know, create your own, which is a lot more. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to just turn off my phone quickly. Hang on. Okay, so now that is out of the way, I've muted my phone because I was going mental. We can carry on with this video. So here you can name your own events, well, your effects or skills. Let's say this is stun. You can stun your enemies. You can be more advanced and use effects. That's built into common events, and I'll get onto that later on. So here you can use special or magic. That's not going to make a lot of sense to you right now because you actually haven't made a game yet. The same with this. You don't just ignore all of this for now. I'll get into this in a later video. You have your items. You know, you can create your own potions. So let's just say if I were to make another one here and call it, I don't know, health pack. And there you go, you have a health pack, and you can choose the icon, which one looks like a health pack. I'll go for that one. And then you can put description, heals your character by 20%. You can have the item tag, it's a key item, which means you cannot remove it from your inventory or manipulate it in any way. Here you can choose the price for it. You can do this manually if you want when you create stores. You can have a consume, so if you can consume it or not, or it just stays in your inventory as an item. Scope, this means it affects the enemy or you or one of your teammates. The occasion is always, which means you can do this whenever you want in the game. Only in battle, which means you can only use it in battle, and only from the menu is self-explanatory. You can only use it from the menu. And never is, you can never use it, it's just there. Now this is the invocation. This is where you can add animations, the success rate of this actually doing anything. So if I set this to 1, it would never heal you, but if you did it to, I don't know, 50%, it would be a 50% chance that this would heal you by 20%, if that is the part. And then you can go to here. You can do HP damage, MP damage, HP recover, HP drain, MP drain. We don't want to go into any of that because it's not a damage. Here we're going to have recover. You can do it by right here, since it can heal us by 20%. Just put in 20% there. Or if you don't want to do it by percentage, you can do it manually, and you can put, I don't know, 50, and it'll give you 50 more health straight away. And that is that. You can add states, which means you can, I don't know, if you add this health pack, it would make you blind. I don't know if you want to do that. Add buff is where you can, well, we'll get onto that. Basically, on the classes, I mentioned that you can use parameters, i.e., you know, upgrade your speed, damage, and all of that. This is basically that you can say it'll increase your attack or damage for 5 turns when you use it. Special effect is where you can escape. Basically, that's where you can escape from the battle. Grow, MP, you know, same as the buff. learn skill. You can learn skills that you can use on your enemies and all of that. And the common events is... Sorry, I need to mute this as well. Okay, so that was that. Here you can add notes. This you can't actually see this in the game, so if I wanted to put reminder, add more health. When you play the game, you won't be able to see it. Weapons is self-explanatory. It's like creating items, but instead weapons. Armors, self-explanatory. Here you can create your own enemies if you wanted to. I'm gonna get into that into another. Troops is basically where you can add more than one enemy on the screen. States is death, paralysis. This basically adds effects to your characters that you put, or actors, which you can use. Animations is all of your animations, or you can create your own animations, which is really cool. Tile sets, you don't need to be messing with this stuff, and I suggest you don't, because it's not really that important. And then you have the common events. This is where you can create your own events and use them externally when you're in the game. So let's say if you had the health pack and you wanted to add an event, you could show text as well and say you gain 20% health. So if I use that health pack, I could use the common events and it will come up as, so if I go back to items here, health pack, go to effects, if it will load, go to other, go to common event, and then it will come up here as text or whatever you named it, and it would show up as you gain 20% health each time you used it. So, system, this is where you can add your own sound effects or the music. So let's say if I were to, I don't know, play this one. That would be my title screen music. Or you can create your own and import them, which I'll show you in a bit. And this is the window color. This is what the color will always be if you have text speech or actors talking. Here you can have vehicle graphics. You can add your own, or be stupid and make this plant and it can travel or fly. And then the currency, you can put anything here. If you want the currency, you can put dollars or pounds, which I've put. And then here options, you have initialize MIDI at startup. None of this is really important, but yeah, I won't go near this. And this is the only important one that you'll want, and this is show player followers. So let's say if you got a companion that you found in the game that you've added yourself, which we'll get onto another video, it will make them invisible instead of them doing a train behind you. And here is the resource manager where you can import your own sounds and everything as long as they're into the own categories. So if you wanted to add music, you will go to audio/SE, or yes, this is where you can add your sound effects. This is where you can add your, the things where you can add game overs and all of that. BGS is your sound effects for the game in general, like wind, darkness and all of that. Audio, this is what I meant, BGM. This is where you can import your own music. This is basically music in general, so you can click here to import, and then you can just import things there, as long as it's an appropriate music file. Script editor, I would preferably not go near this if you're new to RPG Maker. VX Ace, it's a no-go zone for you straight away. I wouldn't go near there. Sound test, you can just basically preview all the sounds. Character generator, this is where if you don't want to create your own character in GIMP or something like that, you can use the in-game character creator, which is for the males or females, and you have the portrait there for when they're talking, and this is what they will look like. So here you can go through all of the colours. I'll say if you wanted red hair, orange eyes, and skin colour just pale. You can go through all the front hairstyles, so I'm just gonna go through these, and let's just say I picked that one, and then you can have the back like that. Face shape, you can have him like really toned and defined. If you wanted, you can make him an elf. Eyebrows, you can go through all of them. It's self-explanatory throughout all of this. This part, all of this, is for the self-portrait. This is what he will look like. So let's see if you went to type 2. Well, the neck is part of the character as well, so let's just put that. And then this is where your character, you can see on the bottom of my portrait there, is changing throughout all of these. So let's just say I wanted him to look like that. And I could choose the colour. So he's going to have red, you can have a cloak, some wings, tattoo, which goes onto there, glasses, you know, put some on there, accessories, and that. And there you go, we've just created a new character. And then you can go to output face, which is basically saving it as a graphics file, and output character is this one here. The face is this one for Windows and text boxes and all that. Output character is the actual thing you need if you want to be using him in the game. So next we will be going over this. What is this? You see here, and why is there not a lot of stuff? So you're going to want to go to this mode, which is map or F5, and then you can add stuff here, or you can use the pencil and just be very specific, and then add some details such as that. Basically just pick one of these and just create, or you can use the fill tool and quickly just whack up something here, and there you go, he's now standing on grass. So that's that. And now this, what is this? This is where all your maps will be. So you're going to right click on the one that you have, you're going to click new map if you want to create a new one, and you can go for map properties, which is this map in general, which is the grass. So here you can have the map name. When you play the game, you're not going to see this is just for easy access for when you're actually using it. So let's just call this grass. And the display name, this is what it actually comes up as in the game. So we're going to put grassland. So that's what the character will see when you're playing the game. It will come up in the top left corner as grassland. And you can have the tile set, which is this. You can have interior, dungeon, or exteriors. I prefer interiors if you want to make indoors type things like houses and all that. The width, you can choose the size of your map. It can literally be as big as you want. Scroll type is basically where the map loops, so if you go off the screen it will continue as a loop. So it will basically replay the whole map twice. Graphics, this is what will be in the background if you have a blank background. So let's just say if you had a blank background, that you'd just see this floating animated piece of that. Loop horizontal, this is basically scroll types. Specific battle bag, this is when you're on this map and you're battling enemies, and you can just create your own little fighting things. So let's just say mine's grass, we just have clouds, and well, basically just grass, to be honest. Yeah, just grass. That's what it will be, and that's what it will be when you're fighting a character. And here you can have music that plays in the background for this specific map. So you can just pick a music that you want to play in the map when it's playing. BGS, this is just audio files that loop in the background, so you can have wind that loops in the background, fire, darkness, or clock ticking, which is really eerie for horror type maps. And then notes, this is just in general that no one else can see but you. This is grassland. Boom, and that's that. So then you have grassland, which I have just changed completely because I changed the tile set. So obviously when you change the tile set, you get new things that you can build. So you get all of that. I'm just going to go ahead and change it back to grass. And there we go. So, adding a new map. This is basically the same as the other one, just, yeah. And that will create it into this, so it will create a group. So if they're connected in any way, just do that, or you can just click right click, new map, and just create a new map from there. And that is pretty self-explanatory for that. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete these ones. Delete. So let's go on to the events now. And this is what this little guy is. This is an event. This is, well, first of all, if you've deleted him by accident and you want to create a start point where your character is going to spawn when you first play the game, you right click where you want it to be, quick event, set starting position and player. So that's where your player will be at the start when your game loads up. So if you want to create an event on the map anywhere, you're going to want to double click, and then you get all of this. Now this does look it looks scary, but yeah, it's pretty simple. So you can add a name for the event. You can go to switches. This is basically conditional branches. So if a switch is on, let's say if a key has been used to unlock a door, that's what the switch would be, and it will make it accessible, and it will transport you to somewhere else or another map. That's what a variable is. Basically a bunch of numbers, and if that number is that number that has been chosen randomly, it will just take it down. Self switch is once this switch has been activated, A, B, C, or D. So let's just say if A got activated, it will be on forever until it gets turned off. Item is where if a potion exists in the map somewhere. So let's just say if you had a potion in your inventory and that was there, it would show up. And let's just say if you had an actor or companion that you have following you, would be in there. Then you can have a graphic for what your conditional or your event looks like. Let's just say it's a clown just lying down. And then it can be fixed, and it can move around randomly. It will approach the player, or you can have custom. I'm going to have it fixed. So if it's not fixed and it follows you around or is random, you can choose how fast it will move around the map. So you can have it really slow. Frequency is basically, if it's on the lowest, it will barely move. If it's on lower, it will move occasionally. Normal, it will just move around whenever it feels like it, and yada yada yada. Options, this is where if the graphic is animated or not. So let's go ahead and get one that is animated, and the animated ones are the ones with the exclamation mark in front of them. So let's just say if you had a crystal, if it was a walking animation, it would just be fixed and it would not move. Stepping animation, which means it would move and it would animate. Direction fix is where it is fixed to moving in one direction. Through is where you can walk through it. Easy as that. So that's all of that done. You can add a new event page if you want for this specific event. For the event that you put down. Now if you want to create actually something, I forgot to do these ones. Priority is same as character. Basically if it's below the character, and if you're below it, basically standing underneath it, you can interact with it. If it's the same as character, below characters means you can walk under the event. Same as character, which means it will block you from walking through it. And above characters where you can walk over it. Now the trigger, you can use the action button, which is the enter button on your keyboard. Play touch, basically if you touch it with your character, it will start the event. Event touch, if another event touches this event, it will start. Auto run is where it will run automatically when you enter the map. Parallel process is based on conditional branches and commands that common events that you've created. So if you want to create contents or events, you're gonna click this here and go to, just double click it, and then you can have all of these you can interact with. I'm not gonna go through every individual one because there is a lot here, and you can most of them are self-explanatory anyway. So let's just go for one that's simple, which is show text. And we can go to a face graphic, we can go to monsters, And bear in mind you can add your own portraits if you want. I'm gonna go for this one and have the clown and have it say hello, and then go and just click OK. And then what you're gonna want to do is just go here. Well, it will just say hello. Let's have it as a, well, yeah, that's how you can create events. So we're just going to click OK. And then we can go here, which is playtest, or you click F12, and you can just gonna click F12. This may be a little bit loud, so I suggest you turn down your volume. In fact, no, don't do that, because I have a fix. We're gonna have none. Okay. Okay, so that fixed that. We can go to playtest. Save as YouTube, yes. And here we have our game that's loaded up. You can, well, click new game. And then here, you can move around with your character with the directional buttons. I don't think it works with WSAD. But then you can just go up, press the action button, and it will say hello. It will say as many times as you want. So, oh, that's what stepping animation does, by the way. Step walking or direction fix. Direction fix, which means if this specific graphic has multiple image files linked to it, then it will just stay as this. So if you wanted it to just stay like this, just take the direction fix and it will just stay as that. So let me just close this. Oh no. Yeah, close this. And hopefully that sums up everything that you need to know for the basics. I'm going to come back through to this and do another video on this, which is part 2, which will go over more advanced things on how to create shops, make you interact with other characters, and basically anything you can think of I will show you. So this was just a basic run through of what RPG Maker VX Ace is, and I'm sorry this video is a little long. I think it's about 20 minutes already, but yeah, I'll be going through how to create other things, and I'll leave a preview at the end of this video just to show you what is possible with it so far and what I'm currently creating. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and leave a like if you did, because I will be making another episode of this. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.